Hello, my friend. Welcome to this lesson called Make Simple English Talk. I'm really happy you are here with me today. If you are watching this video, I already know something important about you. You want to learn English, and you want to speak English confidently. You want to find the right words when you meet new people, when you talk to friends, when you travel, or maybe even when you use English at work. And let me tell you something from the start. You can do it. Yes, you can. Many learners believe that speaking good English means using long sentences, advanced vocabulary, or complicated grammar. They think that fluency is about sounding very smart with big words. But the truth is very different. The truth is simple. If you want to improve English fast, you need to use short, clear, and easy sentences. This is what real communication is about. This is how you will build English fluency step by step. And this is exactly what we will practice together in this lesson. I will guide you like a friendly teacher. We will start small and grow together. You will listen, you will repeat, and you will practice. We will use real-life examples, easy conversations, and short challenges. By the end of this video, you will feel more confident. You will know how to make simple English talk today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Let's begin with greetings, because greetings are the heart of every conversation. They are the first step to connect with people. Most learners only know, "Hello, how are you?" But then they stop. They do not know what to say next, and the conversation ends. Let's change that. Imagine you meet someone new and you don't want to think too hard. You just want to sound natural. Here is how it goes. One person says, "Hi, how are you?" The other replies, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" Then the first person says, "I'm fine. Nice to meet you." That's all. Very simple, very clear, and it works. You can use this anywhere, at school, at work, when you travel, or even when you meet strangers on the street. If you want to ask a little more, you can say, "How's your day going?" The other person can answer, "It's going well. Thanks for asking." Or you can hear a casual greeting like, "Hey, what's up?" And the reply can be, "Not much, just relaxing." Do you see how short and friendly this is? This is how people really speak in daily life. Now, let's practice together. Say this out loud with me right now. "Hi, how are you?" Good. Now answer. "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" Perfect. Now add one more. "Nice to meet you." Wonderful. You are already speaking English, and you are speaking it confidently. Maybe you are thinking right now, "Teacher, I always forget what to say. I feel nervous. My mind goes blank." Don't worry. That is very normal. The secret to speaking English confidently is preparing short, simple phrases and practicing them many times. Your brain needs to hear and repeat the same words again and again. That is how you remember. When you repeat, the phrase becomes part of you, and when the moment comes, the words flow naturally. Let me show you one useful phrase you can carry everywhere. Listen carefully. My English is not perfect, but I'm learning. This sentence is powerful. It is simple, honest, and friendly. You can use it in school, at work, or even when you meet strangers. It makes you feel more relaxed, and it makes others respect you because you are trying. Repeat it with me now. My English is not perfect, but I'm learning. One more time. My English is not perfect, but I'm learning. Good. You see, you don't have to hide. You don't have to be shy. This one phrase makes you confident immediately. Now imagine a real situation. You are in a cafe. You want to order a coffee. You don't need big grammar. You don't need perfect English. You just need a simple sentence. Hi, can I have a coffee, please? That's it. If the barista asks, do you want milk? You say, yes, please, or no, thank you. If they ask, do you want sugar? You answer, just a little, or no, thanks. Do you see how easy this is? This is simple English talk. You are communicating, you are polite, and you are understood. Let's make it more fun with a little challenge. I will pretend to be the barista, and you will order. I say, hello, what can I get for you? You say, hi, can I have a coffee, please? Good. Now I ask, do you want milk? You reply, yes, please, or no, thank you. Perfect. Then I ask, do you want sugar? You answer, just a little, or no thanks. Great job. You just had a full conversation in English. This is how you improve English fast. Not with grammar books, not with complicated words, but with small, real conversations that you can actually use in your life. Let's try another one. Imagine you meet a new classmate or colleague. You say, hi, I'm your name. What's your name? The other person says, I'm Sarah. You reply, nice to meet you, Sarah. And she answers, nice to meet you too. That's it. Short, easy, and natural. Let's practice together. I'll be the new person. You start. You say, hi, I'm your name. What's your name? I answer, I'm Alex. You say, nice to meet you, Alex. I reply, nice to meet you too. See how simple it is? You just introduced yourself in English. Fluency is not about long sentences. It is about short, repeated practice. The more you use these small dialogues, the more confident you become. But here is a challenge for you. Practice every single day, not once a week, not only in school, but every day. Just 5 minutes is enough. Talk to yourself, repeat phrases, order food in English, ask and answer simple questions. Every small step builds your confidence like a brick building a strong wall. Here's one powerful trick that will help you improve English even faster. Always speak out loud. Don't just read silently. Your mouth needs training. Your tongue needs practice. Your voice needs practice. The more you speak out loud, the faster you will build real English fluency. Let's try one more example before we finish this part. Imagine you meet a tourist in your city. You want to be friendly, so you ask, "Hi, where are you from?" The tourist answers, "I'm from Spain." You smile and say, "Oh, nice, welcome." That's it, short and warm. Now let's try it together. You ask me, "Where are you from?" I say, "I'm from the UK." You reply, "Oh, nice, welcome." Wonderful. You just had another real conversation. So remember this. Don't try to be perfect. Try to be clear. Simple English talk is strong. Simple English talk is powerful. Simple English talk is the real key to confidence. In this first part, you learned how to greet, how to start small talk, and how to handle easy conversations in daily life. You practiced dialogues and you spoke out loud. You now know the secret. Short, simple phrases repeated daily will help you improve English fast. But this is only the beginning. In the next part, I will show you how to take these small conversations and make them longer, more natural, and more fun. You will learn how to add details, how to ask good questions, and how to keep the talk alive so it doesn't stop after hello. Are you ready for that? Then stay with me, because part 2 will unlock the next step to English fluency. Part 2. Now that you can greet someone, introduce yourself, and order a coffee, it's time to go one step further. In part 1, we focused on short, simple phrases that help you start a conversation. But many learners tell me, "Teacher, I can start, but then I stop. I don't know how to keep talking." That's a very common problem, and I'm here to help you fix it. Today, we will learn how to make your conversations longer, more natural, and more fun. We will practice asking small questions, adding details, and making your English talk flow. Here is something very important to remember. Every conversation is like a ball game. You throw the ball, and then the other person throws it back. If you only say one sentence and then stop, the ball drops and the conversation ends. But if you ask a small question after your answer, you keep the ball moving. This is the secret to keeping a conversation alive. And the best part? You don't need difficult grammar or advanced vocabulary. You just need simple English talk. Let's look at an example. Imagine this short conversation. Someone asks you, "How are you?" You answer, "I'm fine, thanks." That's good, but if you stop there, the ball drops. Instead, add a small question. You can say, "I'm fine, thanks. How about you?" Now the other person can answer, and the talk continues. You see the difference? One small question can keep the conversation going. Let's practice another situation. Imagine you meet a new colleague at work. You say, "Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you." The colleague says, "Nice to meet you too." If you stop there, the talk is over. But if you add one more question, the conversation continues. You can ask, "Where are you from?" That's an easy question. The colleague answers, "I'm from Italy." You reply, "Oh, that's nice. I love Italian food." Now you have shared something personal, and the talk feels friendly. Do you see how this works? You start with a simple question. Then you add a small detail about yourself. This makes the conversation more natural. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show interest and share a little information. Let's try another real-life example. Imagine you are in class and you sit next to someone new. You say, "Hi, my name is Ahmed. What's your name?" The person answers, "I'm David." You say, "Nice to meet you, David. Where do you live?" He replies, "I live near the park." Now, if you want to keep going, you add a detail. "Oh, nice. I sometimes go jogging near the park." Suddenly, you are not only asking questions, you are connecting your life to his life. That is how conversations grow. Now let's practice together. I will play the other person, and you try to ask me something. Ready? I say, "Hi, my name is Sarah." You say your name and ask me a question. Did you do it? Great. I answer, "I'm from Canada." Now you add a detail. You could say, "Oh, Canada. I watch Canadian TV shows." Or, "I want to visit Canada one day." Wonderful. That's how you keep talking. Here is another tip. When you ask questions, keep them simple. Don't worry about grammar mistakes. People don't care if your grammar is perfect. They care if you are friendly. Simple questions are always the best. Some useful ones are, "Where are you from?" "What do you do?" "Do you like it here?" "What do you usually eat for breakfast?" They are all easy, clear, and perfect for daily talk. Let's practice with food, because food is a fun topic. Imagine you are with a new friend. You can ask, "What's your favorite food?" The friend answers, "I love pizza." You can reply, "Oh, nice, me too," or "I like pasta more." If you want to add more, you ask another question. Do you cook pizza at home? That's it. Small, simple, and fun. Now I want you to practice with me. I ask you, "What's your favorite food?" You answer with your favorite food. Great. Now I say, Oh, that sounds delicious. You can now ask me, what about you? And I answer, I love curry. See? The conversation keeps moving. Another way to keep talking is by using small comments. Comments are little sentences that show you are listening. You don't always need to ask a question. You can just say, that's great, or wow, really? Or I didn't know that. These small comments make you sound more natural, and they help the other person feel comfortable. For example, let's imagine you are talking about travel. The other person says, I went to Paris last year. You can reply, wow, that's amazing. Here is a challenge for you. Choose one of these topics, food, music, travel, or hobbies, and try to make a short conversation with yourself. Ask a question, answer it, add a detail, and ask one more question. If you practice this for 5 minutes every day, you're English. Then you can ask, what did you like about Paris? The conversation goes on and on. Now let's do a quick role play. I say, I visited Japan last summer. You say, wow, that's amazing. Then you ask me, what did you like about Japan? I answer, I loved the food. You can now reply, oh, I love Japanese food too. See, you just had a real conversation, and it felt natural. Remember, speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about connection. People don't remember your grammar mistakes. They remember how you made them feel. If you show interest, if you ask small questions, if you share little details, you will always sound confident. Let me give you one more example. Imagine you are at a party. Someone asks you, do you like music? You answer, yes, I do. I like pop music. If you stop there, the talk is finished. But if you ask, what kind of music do you like? The other person will answer and the talk continues. Maybe they say, I like rock music. You can reply, oh, nice. I sometimes listen to rock too. And then you can ask, do you play any instruments? Suddenly, you are talking like friends. Fluency will grow very fast. So far, you have learned how to keep a conversation alive with small questions, details, and comments. You know how to throw the ball back and keep the game going. You see how short sentences can become real talk. And now you understand that fluency is not about big words. It's about small steps repeated every day. But we are not finished yet. In part 3, I will show you how to make your English talk even stronger by learning how to tell small stories. Stories are powerful, and they make your conversations more interesting and more memorable. Even with simple English, you can tell great stories that people will love to hear. And when you tell stories, you will feel more confident than ever. So stay with me, because the next part will open the door to one of the most powerful tools for English fluency, the art of simple storytelling. Part 3. So far, you have learned how to start conversations and how to keep them alive with questions and small details. You now know how to greet someone, introduce yourself, and make small talk about food, music, or travel. That's already a big step toward English fluency. But if you want to make your English talk more powerful, more memorable, and more interesting, you need to learn how to tell simple stories. Don't worry. Storytelling in English does not mean writing a novel or giving a speech. It simply means sharing little moments from your life in a clear and natural way. This is what people do every day when they chat with friends, family, or colleagues. And you can do it too, even with very simple English. Let's start small. Imagine someone asks you, "How was your weekend?" Many learners feel nervous with this question. They say, "It was good," and then stop. But that's too short. The conversation ends quickly. Instead, you can answer with a tiny story. For example, you can say, "It was good. I went to the park with my friend. We had ice cream." That's just 2 more sentences, but it feels like a story. It gives details. It makes the talk more natural, and it helps the other person feel connected to you. They can now ask, "Oh, really? What flavor of ice cream did you have?" And the conversation continues. Do you see how easy that is? You don't need difficult grammar. You just need to use 3 simple steps. Answer the question, add a small detail, and give 1 more sentence. That's the structure of a mini story. Let's try another example. Imagine your teacher or friend asks, "How did you get here today?" Instead of saying, "By bus," you can say, "I came by bus. It was very crowded and I had to stand the whole way." Suddenly, you are telling a small story. It's more interesting and it gives the other person something to respond to. They might say, "Oh, I hate crowded buses too." And now you are having a real conversation. Let's practice together. I will ask you a question. What did you have for breakfast today? If you only answer, "Bread," the conversation stops. But if you say, "I had bread and tea. I was in a hurry, so I ate quickly," you just made a story. It's short, it's simple, and it works. Here is another easy structure you can use. First, say what you did, then say when, and finally add how you felt. Let's practice. Yesterday, I watched a movie. It was funny and I laughed a lot. That's it. 1 action, 1 time, 1 feeling. This 3-part formula makes any small talk sound richer and more natural. Now let me give you a real-life dialogue example. Imagine you meet a classmate and they ask, "How was your day?" You can reply, "It was busy. I studied English in the morning. In the afternoon, I met my cousin and we went shopping. I was tired, but happy. Do you see how clear that is? You are not only answering, you are painting a little picture. This makes the conversation interesting and it makes you sound confident. Let's do a quick role play. I ask you, how was your day yesterday? You answer with 3 sentences. What you did, when you did it, and how you felt. For example, yesterday I cooked dinner. I made chicken and rice. It was delicious. Or, yesterday I went jogging in the evening. The weather was cold, but it felt good. Wonderful. You are now telling small stories in English. Here is another powerful tip. Use time words like yesterday, today, last week, in the morning, or at night. These words are like magic keys. They make your story clear and easy to follow. For example, instead of saying, I watched TV, you can say, last night I watched TV. I saw a funny show and I laughed a lot. Simple, clear, and natural. Let's practice with travel. Imagine someone asks, have you ever been to another city? You can reply with a story. For example, yes, last year I went to Lahore. I visited the old market. It was very crowded, but I enjoyed it. Or, yes, I went to Karachi 2 months ago. I saw the beach and it was beautiful. You see, just a few sentences can make your English sound much stronger. Now I want you to try. Think about a place you visited. Maybe it was a city, a park, or even a small shop. Tell me about it in 3 sentences. Where did you go? What did you see? How did you feel? Practice out loud. Another good way to tell stories is to use first, then, and finally. This gives your talk a natural flow. For example, first, I woke up late this morning. Then, I missed the bus. Finally, I arrived at school, but I was 10 minutes late. That sounds like a complete little story, and it's very easy to understand. Let's try one together. I'll start and you finish. First, I made tea. Then I sat down at my desk. Finally, now you add your own ending. Maybe, finally, I started to watch YouTube. Or, finally, I read a book. Very good. This structure helps you talk for longer without feeling lost. Remember, people love stories. Stories make you interesting. Stories make people want to listen to you. And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be clear. Even with beginner English, you can tell small stories about your life. Now, here's a challenge for you. Every day, tell one mini story out loud. It doesn't need to be long. Just 3 or 4 sentences are enough. Tell a story about what you ate, what you did, or what you saw. Tell a story about yesterday, today, or last week. If you do this daily, you will improve English fluency very quickly. because you are practicing real communication. Let's practice one last role play before we end this part. I'll ask you a question, and you give me a short story. Ready? What did you do last weekend? Think of something simple. Maybe last weekend I visited my aunt. We had lunch together and we talked for hours. It was fun. Or, last weekend I stayed home. I watched 2 movies and I ate popcorn. I felt relaxed. Excellent. You see how natural that is? You just told me a story, and I understood everything. So now, in part 3, you learned the power of simple storytelling. You discovered how to use short sentences to answer, add details, and express your feelings. You practiced with time words, with first, then, finally, and with real-life examples like food, travel, and weekends. You can now make your English talk more colorful and more alive. But we are not done yet. In the final part, Part 4, we will go even further. You will learn how to put everything together: greetings, questions, details, and stories to have full conversations in English. We will practice real dialogues that sound natural, and I will show you how to speak English confidently in any situation. Get ready, because the last part is where it all comes together. Part 4. We have now arrived at the final part of this lesson, and I am so proud of you for staying with me all this time. You have already learned so much. In part 1, you practiced greetings and simple short talk. In part 2, you learned how to keep the conversation alive with questions and details. In part 3, you discovered the power of storytelling and how to make your English more interesting. Now, in part 4, we are going to put it all together. This is where you learn how to have a complete conversation in English, from the beginning to the end, using everything we have practiced. Let's imagine a real situation. You are at school, work, or a social event, and you meet someone new. At first, you greet them. You say, "Hi, I'm your name. Nice to meet you." They reply, "Nice to meet you too." Then you keep the ball moving. You ask a simple question. "Where are you from?" They say, "I'm from Brazil." You can add a small detail. "Oh, that's nice. I've never been to Brazil, but I want to visit." Now you are making a connection. You ask another question. "Do you like it here?" The person replies, "Yes, I like it, but sometimes I miss my home country." You show interest by commenting, "I understand. Home is always special." Finally, you can share a small story. "When I moved to this city, I also missed my home at first, but then I made new friends and I felt better." That's it. You just had a full conversation with greetings, questions, comments, and a story. Do you see how everything comes together? It's not about speaking fast or using big grammar. It's about connecting step by step. First a greeting, then a question, then a detail, then a story. This is how you can speak English confidently. Let's practice together with another example. Imagine you are sitting in a cafe and someone sits near you. You want to be friendly, so you start, "Hi, how are you?" They say, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" You reply, "I'm fine, thanks. It's a nice day, isn't it?" That small comment opens the door. They say, "Yes, the weather is great." Now you ask a question. "Do you come here often?" They answer, "Yes, I usually come here on weekends." You add a detail. "Oh, that's nice. I come here in the evenings after work." You can then share a little story. "One time I came here late at night and the cafe was almost empty. It felt very peaceful." The other person can respond and the talk continues. This is simple, natural, and exactly how conversations work in real life. Here's a useful exercise. Think of the last time you met someone new. Maybe it was in school, at work, in a shop, or at a bus stop. Now imagine that moment again, but this time practice it in English. Start with a greeting, add a question, share a detail, and tell a small story. Do this in your mind, or even better, speak it out loud. The more you practice these conversations, the easier it will be when the real moment comes. Now, let's work on confidence, because I know many learners feel shy. They worry about making mistakes, about people not understanding them, or about sounding strange. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a language. Even native speakers make mistakes. The goal is not perfection. The goal is connection. When you speak with confidence, people listen. When you show interest, people respond. Your grammar does not need to be perfect. Your sentences do not need to be long. Your message is what matters. Here's a trick to help you sound more confident. Slow down. Many learners think fluency means speaking very fast. But speaking fast can make you nervous and hard to understand. Instead, speak slowly and clearly. Take your time. Smile. Look at the person. This will make you sound more confident, and it will also give you more time to think about your next sentence. Let's practice this right now. Say this sentence slowly and clearly. My English is not perfect, but I can communicate. Good. Now say, I'm learning every day and I'm improving. Wonderful. Do you feel the power in those words? That's the spirit of confidence. Now let's do one more big role play. Imagine you are traveling and you meet a tourist in your city. The tourist looks a little lost, so you start, "Hi, can I help you?" The tourist says, "Yes, I'm looking for the train station." You reply, "Oh, it's not far. You go straight, then turn left." The tourist smiles and says, "Thank you so much." You add, "No problem. Where are you from?" They say, "I'm from Japan." You reply, "Oh, nice. I love Japanese food." The tourist laughs and says, "Yes, sushi is very popular." You can now ask, "Is this your first time here?" They answer, "Yes, it is." You reply, "Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay." Do you see how natural that is? You helped someone, asked questions, shared a detail, and made the conversation friendly. That's real English fluency. Here's another challenge for you. Think of 3 different places where you might need English: a cafe, a bus stop, and a new classroom. Now, for each place, imagine a short conversation. Write it down or practice it out loud. Use greetings, questions, details, and a small story. This will prepare your brain for real-life situations. Before we finish, I want to remind you of something very important. Learning English is not a race. It's a journey. Some days you will feel strong, and some days you will feel weak. That's normal. The key is to keep going step by step. Every time you practice a greeting, every time you ask a question, every time you tell a small story, you are building fluency. You may not see the change immediately, but over time, your English will grow. Think about it. A child learns to speak their first language slowly, with small words and simple sentences. They don't start with perfect grammar. They start with sounds, then words, then phrases, then stories. You are doing the same with English. Be patient with yourself and celebrate your progress. Now, let's close with one final practice. Repeat after me. I can speak English confidently. Again, I can improve English fast with small steps. One more time. Every day I am getting better. Beautiful. You are ready. So now you have the complete method. Start with greetings. Keep the talk alive with questions. Make it interesting with details and comments. Add power with small stories. And always speak with confidence. If you practice these steps daily, even for just 15 minutes, you will see a big change in your English fluency. Thank you for staying with me through this full lesson. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. Remember, English is not just a subject to study. It's a tool to connect, to make friends, to explore the world, and to grow as a person. Keep practicing, keep speaking out loud, and never give up. Your journey to fluency is already happening.